manager was a little nervous when I was assigned to his center to drive. He indicated that he felt I could do better. And after sending out 2 industrial engineers to ride with me, who told him that I was doing everything the right way, the second engineer indicated that one of the reasons why I was losing time was because I was delivering in the area where I lived, and all of the African-American people asked how I got the job because they hadn't seen a black driver before. I drove for 2.5 years, and I worked as a night loader, which paid more than driving because you got a night differential at the time. This particular day, I went to pick up the office mail at the district manager's office, and he wasn't in, but sitting in his seat on the telephone talking to Seattle was Jim Casey. And I just motioned that I was there to pick up the house mail, and he motioned me to sit down. I sat there for about 5 minutes while he continued his conversation, and then he hung up, and I'll never forget, it was like he was x-raying my head. He was looking right through me. And he introduced himself and asked me my name, and I told him I was familiar with his name because I had seen his picture all over the office. He chuckled, and he asked me a question that I will never forget. He says, "How long do you plan to stay with us?" And I said, "Until I find something better." He says, "Well, keep up the good work." And I didn't know why he said, "Keep up the good work." I didn't think that he had been asking about me, but that was his comment, "Keep up the good work." It told me that Jim had been listening, and there definitely had been a change in his philosophy toward how he recognized people that didn't look like him. That made me believe even more that he was a people person. That really meant a lot to me, obviously, but it meant a lot to thousands of other black and minority people who followed me. And we ended the conversation, and I went on. My boss was waiting for me, and he's very upset because I was about a half hour overtime. When I told him I had been talking with Jim Casey, he didn't believe me. 2 weeks later, I was asked to move into the personnel department, they called it at the time. And then the district personnel manager asked if I could assist in the employment process by setting up contacts with other minority organizations that might be able to allow them to employ more black drivers. When people believe in you and trust you, they'll follow you. Those are the kinds of things that I think of when I think of Jim Casey. And he was always trying to identify ways of motivating and encouraging people to do their best work.